But the point is, if you're fine at a certain level, you're not going to keep climbing. You don't want to get complacent. This is your reminder that if you are complacent in any area of life, you're barely going to make progress. This is a lesson, like just a piece of wisdom I wish I got when I was younger, that for men, negative emotion is actually really valuable. The modern world has told you that we should never feel negative, that we should always try to feel super happy, take some fucking medication, here's some Ritalin, whatever, like antidepressants or some shit. You're not feeling good, so go scroll. You're not feeling super happy, to go watch bullshit on your computer, go play some video games, eat some little sweeties and stuff. You're told to avoid negative emotion and try and keep yourself in this false state of positivity all the time. But life as a man is not supposed to be positive all the time. Most, if like at least 50% of your life, if not even more, is supposed to have like a negative emotional texture to it. Dissatisfaction, craving. That's what actually causes you to go and create that success. Now, all of that being said, once you have been able to harness this level of dissatisfaction, one extra nice thing you can do is just do the mental health habits on top of that. So you can meditate every day. You can do gratitude journaling where you can express that you're grateful for what you do have. For example, you've got this, this girl that you're dating, and so you write down that you're grateful for the date that you guys went on yesterday. You write down, or you think about some friend that you've got and that you're grateful that he's in your life and you guys hit a workout yesterday. That's wholesome as fuck. Keep those things up. But don't be satisfied enough that you get complacent with that. Because otherwise, you'll end up exactly like most men, where they just live like, 4, 5 out of 10 lives, where they've been able to save up a house and then they live there with their girlfriend that they don't even think is that pretty. They watch porn in the toilets, like sat on the bathroom pretending to have a shit, and they jerk off there because they get bored of having sex with their 4, 5 out of 10 wives. That's how most men live, like quiet lives of desperation. And I said to the boys in the call, type 1 in the chat if you couldn't make it to the live events. And a bunch of people typed 1. And I said, what? For the guys typing 1, why couldn't you make it? And a few guys wrote money, they could have came, but they just couldn't afford like the flight tickets, the hotel. And I directly said to them, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be so embarrassed by that. There was something you wanted, to go to this educational event that would have been quite hype, lit, whatever, and you couldn't afford to go. If you're fine with that and you're like, oh, well, I don't really care, haha. Do you really think you're going to work as hard the next day? Of course not. But if you're pissed off at that, you're going to almost not be able to sleep thinking, how the fuck do I make more money? Like, how did hell? Like, Hamza got 100 guys to fly over from different countries, and I couldn't afford to. That's embarrassing. The same for the last girl you spoke to and for the girls that you've had crushes on. You've got to be dissatisfied. The last time that there was a girl who chose another guy over you and that other guy had more things going on, he was wealthier, he had like a six-pack, he was more of an athlete. You were able to cope really hard, come home, watch a bunch of like cringe self-improvement videos where they tell you to not think about girls and just focus on yourself, king. And then you were able to feel a little bit more satisfied. But you get better with women when you're dissatisfied with where you're currently at. So I've got an action step for you that I want you to just think about in this video. Be more dissatisfied with your current life. Allow yourself, if not in front of others, fine, at least to yourself, to be so pissed off. Harness more dissatisfaction. Be pissed. The next time you wake up and you see a pimple on your face, be pissed. If you've got acne right now, be pissed. Because that means that you've been fucking up. That means that your diet is not good enough. Be dissatisfied with that. Be dissatisfied with your physique. We need body shaming. You can do the math if you go look at one of my paid program. Maybe it'll be linked below. I have 1,600 current students inside of my program, and it's $129 each. You can do the math. It's like $190,000 a month that I make there. And I'm still dissatisfied. Now, I sound like a fucking asshole for saying that because I'm 190. That's like fucking 2 something million a year. How am I dissatisfied? Because you have to be. Because you want to play the game. Because this is the interesting thing. I've been satisfied before. So this is the other version now. Let's say if we're optimizing for mental health. I've been satisfied with my money, with my physique before. I've had those times where I was making above 100,000 a month, even those times where I was making 10, 20, 30,000 a month. And I would say it to myself all the time, more money's not going to change my life now. There's been times when I've got a girlfriend and I look at my physique and I think, more muscle's not going to change my life now. That sounds really wholesome and you know, like humble for your mental health. And I really do think mental health should be a priority, but do you know what happened to me in those moments? If you've watched my videos for a while, you would have spotted those moments. I got complacent. I lost a lot of zest of my masculine life. I didn't work as hard. I didn't train as hard. It became okay to skip a day from the gym. And how do you think that started to affect me? You see, desire for more, dissatisfaction can actually be a beautiful thing, even though it sounds like this crazy thing of poor mental health. You know, this guy's got so much muscle, but he's still grinding every day. That's like a mental illness. But it gives you a reason to be alive. It gives you a reason to work hard. A man without this straightforward mission, like this sort of smart goal that you're dedicating everything towards, a man without that starts to feel really empty and directionless, and that's where you start consuming bullshit and you're just watching YouTube video after YouTube video. You're probably in that state right now, aren't you? That's the reason why you clicked on this video. This video is not that special, but you clicked on it because you're in that state where your desire isn't hard enough. Men's desire for the things that men should desire, like pussy, like dominating other men, like specifically taking another man's fucking girlfriend, like making so much money, like taking money from another man's business. These are completely natural masculine desires, but the modern world has told you that they are immoral, they are this, they are this, they are this. Don't chase money because that's really cringe. The grind is really cringe. Oh, those guys wake up early, that's really cringe. Take time off, play 1 hour of video games. This is all we've heard from since we were little boys. You've been told that grinding hard and desiring more, desiring those conventional masculine things like money, women, power, respect, brotherhood. You've been told that those things are like bad things to chase after. And so your desire has been throttled. It's been choked inside of you. You feel like a bad person when you desire money, even though we all desire it. You feel like a weirdo when you desire women, even though we all desire them. And so when you aren't able to just relax and desire these things, you know, have these big goals, have this dissatisfaction for your current period of life, then you don't chase after them. Because if you were let's say you live like a normal life, you maybe work a part-time job, you make a few $100s a month, or you maybe work a full-time job, or you're currently in school, in university, everyone around you is going to look at you weird if you were dissatisfied with your life, if you were waking up super early, 4 a.m. to grind. Everyone's going to look at you like you're weird. Everyone. Except the successful men that you're trying to be more like. It sounds odd, but that's exactly what men need. For women, it's completely different. Women, like, they don't thrive on negative emotion. They thrive on positivity and praise. So for your woman, for your girlfriend, for your sister, mother, it's a different thing. But for men, in a weird way, we almost thrive on criticism, on being called out by other men. Think about the impact I've been able to have on the world, the massive audience I've been able to build. I'm an asshole in my videos. When you meet me in real life, genuinely, I'm actually kind of like a nice guy. I'm laughing, I'm giggling, whatever. But in my videos, I'm a fucking asshole because it works, because this is what men need. In every single one of my videos, I call you out for being a pussy and you keep watching because you know that this is what you needed. Otherwise, you wouldn't take action. If I was another fucking YouTuber telling you everything's going to be all right, oh, you take some days off, guys. Yeah, you know, 1 hour of video games is fine. I play 1 hour of video games a day as well. If I told you that you could just be fine with your current life, you would have never listened to me because you knew deep down that that wasn't good enough. You knew that you wanted more out of life. And so I made you dissatisfied with the shape of your fucking body. I made you dissatisfied with how much money you have in your bank account. I made you dissatisfied with the women or the lack of women that are in your life. And that's why you've been grinding so fucking hard as much as you have. You know, the people that you know, your old friends or your Jeffrey friends who aren't grinding like you, who aren't even trying to just be on self-improvement at all, they're satisfied. They play video games. They drink some fucking beer. They smoke their little cute vapes or something. They eat shit food. They've got like every like need of the human taken care of. For intimacy, they have porn. For status and brotherhood, they have video games and prestige or whatever the fuck levels on a video game. They have everything taken care of, and so they're satisfied. And how much progress, really visualize this, are your friends making right now? Barely any, because they don't need to. Think about how much progress you're making because you'll have something to strive towards, so never lose that. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made over the last few years in business and being a YouTuber and just being an adult is that I got satisfied and I stopped like grinding as hard. There was times when I felt like I was making more than enough money. So I used to question it. Like, you know, I've been making more than $100,000 per month since around May or April of last year, 2023. And so once I had been consistent with that for like 4 months, 5 months, those thoughts really did come in of like, what's the point? Like, it's not, more money's not going to change my life. And my life went downhill because of that thought. I thought it'd get better because I'd start to prioritize more wholesome things. But it just took away a lot of that masculine zest, which makes you feel alive. So don't listen to those like weak-minded people who wouldn't understand what we're talking about here when they tell you like, stop like grinding as hard, stop working as hard. You know, you should just be fine with how you are. Basically, they're telling you to be complacent. Because we've tried it, we've been complacent before. Certain men are just switched on. If you're watching this video, you probably are like that, where you're just kind of switched on. You just kind of like, you can't sit around and have like a peaceful mind. If you just sat around and I put on some like TV show for you, you'd feel like a fucking idiot, like you should. So if you are that kind of man, stay dissatisfied. And I'm sure that you will start to build more success than ever.